Hey everybody, this is Talking Money. I'm your host, John Savarino, and in today's video we're going to be talking about 401k plans. What are they? And what are some things to be thinking about in regards to a traditional 401k versus a Roth 401k? Well, simply put, a 401k is just an employer-sponsored retirement plan. And if your employer does offer a 401k to its employees, then more than likely they're offering some type of employer match. And simply put, an employer match just says that, John, if you contribute X percent of your income to the 401k plan, I'm going to match you up to a certain percent. So if your employer not only offers a 401k plan, but also does some type of match to your contributions, I highly suggest that you take a very serious look at least contributing up to that employer match, because frankly, that's free money, and there's not a lot of things that are quote-unquote free in this world today. And then secondarily, what's the difference between a traditional 401k and a Roth 401k? And that's just simply the tax consequences, or the special tax treatment that each side of the 401k plan offers. So if you think back to the 3 tax buckets we discussed in a previous video, and if you haven't seen that video, I highly recommend hitting that link below, because it's got a lot of really great information in regards to how income from our retirement portfolios will be taxed in retirement. But back to the traditional 401k, for example, that's going to fall underneath the tax deferred bucket. So for example, if I were to contribute $1,000 into my traditional 401k throughout the calendar year, I would in essence be able to deduct $1,000 from my gross income for that calendar year. And being more specific, let's say for example I fall marginally in the 22% tax bracket. Well, then I'm in essence saving 22 cents on every dollar of those contributions that equal to $1,000 for the calendar year. But then it's all going to grow tax deferred, right? So we're not going to pay any taxes while it grows. The only time we're going to be paying taxes is when we take distributions from our traditional 401k, more than likely in retirement. Now the Roth 401k, that's going to fall under the tax-free bucket. And if you remember correctly, that when money goes into a tax-free type of retirement account, we're eating the tax, right? We're paying the tax up front. So thus we're contributing after-tax dollars into that Roth 401k side of our retirement plan, and all the growth inside of that account is going to be tax-free. So once we take distributions from that particular Roth 401k account, more than likely in retirement, it's all going to be tax-free. So I think a couple questions that we should be asking ourselves, which first and foremost, full disclosure, this is not advice for everyone watching. These are simply things to be, thinking about, questions to be asking ourselves. But one of the questions that I would be asking myself is, do I think taxes are going to go up in the future, right? Because maybe I'm saving 22 cents on every dollar that I contribute to my traditional 401k, but am I going to end up paying more if taxes were to rise in the future? And that's a really big question to be asking yourself, especially if you're younger years and there's still another 20 or 30 years away from retirement, will taxes be going up? The second question that I would be asking myself is, am I going to make a lot more money in the future, and or am I going to drop multiple tax brackets in retirement? The consensus in the past used to be, yep, you're going to drop a tax bracket or 2 in retirement, so you might as well take that deduction now. But more often than not, everyone has a lifestyle that they want to keep up with in retirement, even after their working years. So more oftentimes than not, you're actually, what I found is that most folks will stay in their particular tax bracket, in retirement. And also there's some other nuances that we have to consider: Social Security income, and of course required minimum distributions. How are those going to affect us in retirement if we do have some tax deferred dollars? But those are just a couple questions that I would be asking myself prior to contributing to the Roth side of things or the traditional side of things. Is, do I think taxes are going to go up in the future? If you do believe that taxes will rise significantly in the future, it might make sense to go towards the Roth side of things. If you think taxes are going to go down in the future, or that you're going to drop multiple tax brackets in retirement, then it might make sense to go to the traditional side. I would definitely be seeking out professional help, whether you work with an advisor today. If you don't, then go to our website, www.rootedretirement.com. Schedule a call with myself or any of the other advisors on the Rooted Wealth Advisors team. We are more than happy to not only help walk you through our process, but even just answer a few questions that pertain specifically to your situation in regards to traditional 401k versus a Roth 401k. So hopefully you found a few of those things helpful today. If you did, hit that like button, leave a comment below, subscribe, hit the notification button. Any feedback that you can provide us is super helpful. If there's any topics that you want us to be discussing or any questions that you want us to be answering, then please, even more so, leave a comment below with what those could be. And as always, we'll talk money soon.